Good morning, people. Here we are once again, Department of Career Services. Today is Thursday, March 21st, 2021. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services, where our simple yet important goal is to help you get from where you are, point A, to someplace better. That's it. Good morning, Wadabevi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Any new informazione on the plane flights? Okay, that's what we're here to do, and we do it through a daily routine. Why? Because routines create habits. And you want to get from point A to point B, it's really, really simple and basic. Replace bad habits with better habits. That's it. The question is, how do you find the better habits? What is a better habit? How do you know it's a better habit? Well, that's what we're here to help you with. And when I say we, I don't really mean me. I mean in the worksheet linked down below. That's where the magic is. This is just the routine of at a particular time every day. That's the thing about a routine. It needs to be slotted in, and you do it at a particular time. You don't have to do it when it's live, though you should, because that creates a whole bunch of other things before that, especially out here in the West. So if you're in Virginia, you have these other things because it's 9 o'clock in the morning. So a whole bunch of other things happen. Things are happening after that. But if you're here in the West and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, you have a bunch of things that need to happen to prepare for that. It should happen because ideally it should be once you watch the podcast, you move forward in life. Not now I take a shower. Oh, I just dragged myself out of bed. Now I take a shower. But that would be an example of replacing habits with better habits. So my first habit is I drag myself out of bed and I watch the video and okay. Then I get to the next stage of maybe I get up a little bit earlier. I make a cup of coffee. I do that. Not too shabby. I have a cup of coffee. So then I'm watching the podcast and I'm there. Maybe I have a pen and a book and I write stuff down so I can remember it. Maybe I decide I'm going to shower before the podcast. So these are all routines, but I'm replacing a habit with a better habit. I'm not trying to break a habit. I'm trying to replace it with a better habit. So if I'm smoking, I don't have the goal of quitting smoking. I have the goal of smoking less. So I create the habit of, I get a cigarette out of the pack, pinch off the end, flick it away, smoke. Pinch off a little bit more, the next, over time, more. So I'm having a cigarette, I'm smoking less, but the process of smoking, just that habit of the routine of doing the whole ritual of lighting up the cigarette, I don't smoke, but for people, that would be an example for people who smoke. You replace a bad habit with a better habit, and you're constantly improving on your habits. You're like a craftsman, somebody or a painter. You don't paint the Mona Lisa by starting in this upper left-hand corner, making it perfect, and then you do it in layers, right? I replace the drawing with this. I replace this with that. I replace that with this other thing, and I constantly am refining, improving on the previous habit. That's how you do it. The question is, what do you do? That's in the stuff that's in the worksheet down below. And maybe one day I can print a worksheet so you can see what it looks like. But down below in the description, please subscribe, click on the bell, thumbs up, share, you know the thing. In the description down below is a link to the worksheet. And the worksheet is where the magic is, because that's the tools. That's where the tools are. The podcast is just the habit. So you could have One tool, a screwdriver. What can you do with a screwdriver? Well, you can do a bunch of things. You learn how to use the screwdriver to do the things. But then somebody says, hey, here's another tool. It's called a chisel. It's like, wow, this makes it so much easier than the screwdriver to do this. Yeah, it's got a really sharp blade. I can really do much, much better and quicker, etc. And then I get, who knows, a pry bar. So I can, instead of using the screwdriver to open things, I get another tool that's designed to do that. And the more tools I know how to use, what? The more valuable I am. And the more valuable I am, what? The more money I'm worth. And the more money I'm worth, the more meaning and purpose, the more value I add, or the more successful I am, because I have meaning and purpose multiplied by more money. And then we just keep scaling that up. Okay. Once again, that's the intro. Let's get to the worksheet. Today's meme. What is a meme? An idea that transfers from brain to brain. Okay, what if you focused on one thing? So Darren Daly is in red on the worksheet. Yes, and he talks about this today. Focusing on one thing, uses Steve Jobs as the example of that Steve Jobs would say to key people, how many times have you said no today? In other words, you have all of these possibilities of things that you can do. And Darren Hardy's point, referencing Steve Jobs, is you want to focus all of that energy on one thing. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. You want to focus on one thing, not 20 things. You want to focus on one thing. And so Steve Jobs would say to the design guy, Joni, whatever, how many things have you said no to today? And that's kind of whittling it down. In the Army artillery, it's called bracketing. Got it. Okay. So the Darren Hardy video is in red. I would say definitely watch that 5-minute little thing on saying no. Don't try to do all things because you dissipate your energy. So if it was light, it would be like light, put a magnifying glass in it. What does it do? It focuses the energy. All of the energy from that area there is focused on a little tiny point. And what happens? Ouch, that's hot. Right. Okay. Advice from an 80-year-old. Do not pray for easier lives. Pray to be stronger. Right. That's actually very profound. Jordan Peterson says, don't pray for a nicer world. Don't try to make the world nicer. Try to be stronger, tougher. Try to be more resilient. Don't try to change the world. Seth Godin. What is Seth talking about today? Where is Seth? Seth Godin. Purchase decisions. Okay, that's an interesting one. All purchases involve a decision. Yes or no, this or that, now or later. And I went through this in the store yesterday because we needed toilet paper over at Honeysuckle. And it's like you have a whole bunch of different brands, and then you have a whole bunch of different number of rolls per pack. So you got to figure out which is which. I used to think there was a lot of spaghetti sauces, but man, toilet paper, wow. Crazy. Okay. All purchases involve a decision. Yes or no, this or that, now or later. But it's helpful to realize that all decisions involve a purchase. When we decide to spend time or take a risk or make a commitment, our brains act in a very similar way. When we decide to spend time or take a risk or make a commitment, our brains act in a way very similar to how we choose to make a purchase. When you talk about a nonprofit introduce a new sort of behavior, or invite someone to follow along, you're actually selling. Finding the empathy to treat it like a purchase is worth the effort, even if it doesn't cost money, especially then. Okay, so that's one you got to contemplate. That's really deep. Why do I say that? Because I didn't really understand it. But I know it's good because it's from Seth Godin. On our motivational, still working through Spitzer. That was a long one, proving God, there is a God. Jordan Peterson about being tough. Another good one, always. And let's see, how are we doing for time? Such a runic rhyme. Okay. So what about anything new in your end of the world? Anything to report? Mm-hmm. Hello, Wadabebi. Yes, had a wonderful night last night. Great, great. Renewed my faith in recovery and people. Better. What about equines? What? What about your flight? Okay, I guess we can talk about that later. I am going to Las Vegas today for the people at A Brighter Beginning. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. the beds will arrive. We need people there to unload. I would say quickly get them off the truck, put them in the 4 garages, and then from the garages, we'll work on putting them in the rooms. And the proper number of beds goes in everybody's room. So today we need people to be prepared that tonight or first thing in the morning by 8 o'clock, everybody's stuff is off the floor in the room. Also, anybody who has a bed without sheets on it cannot stay in this program. There will be no people sleeping on mattresses or mattress pads. If you're not able to, if you're not civilized enough to understand about sheets and washing sheets, then this program is not for you. So if this was Stanford, at Stanford, you have to know how to wash your sheets and make sure you have clean sheets and the importance of a made bed. If you don't understand that, then you get to go to some place like UNLV or CSN or one of these other schools where for them it just doesn't matter. They don't get it. The people are less civilized. They have less ability. It's not ability. It's more of how they view themselves. I think if you view yourself very, very, very highly, you're going to want to sleep in a bed that has sheets that are clean. You're not going to want to sleep in dirty, soiled, body oil, bed bug attracting sheets. And for my purposes, we don't want bed bugs in the house. And so a great way to control bed bugs is if you're washing your sheets every week. Why? Because you have to look at the mattress also, and you'll see if there's anything there. If they go weeks without being treated, it's almost impossible to get rid of them. It's a big problem. So fair warning, if you don't know or don't care about having sheets, be prepared to find someplace else to sleep. But for tomorrow morning, we need the rooms, nothing in the rooms on the floor, no obstacles to putting the beds in. Every room is going to have at least 2 beds. And if you have a bathroom in your room, you'll have 3 beds in that room. So if you don't want to have be in a room with 3 beds, that's okay. No problem. That's perfectly okay. And we might not have 3 people to put in the room. So you got an extra bed, which needs to remain clean. Okay, boom, that's it for that. Thumbs up. Yep, 6:17, time to go. Very appreciative to be here to help people on their journey through life. And it's not supposed to be easy. So that would be the Jordan Peterson thing today. It's not supposed to be easy. You just gotta work through it. Bless. Blessing, that's the blessing through life, the ups and downs. Keep moving forward. Boom, 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 boom. Or like the Three Stooges would do. See you tomorrow.